Behind that car. The girl said, jumping into the back seat of the car. Are you playing spies? The driver asked, smiling. Yes, something like that, Lisa replied with a smile, although everything was sad in her heart. She didn't want to keep an eye on her own boyfriend, especially since he was about to become the father of her child, but his behavior left her no choice. Alex has become somewhat withdrawn and taciturn lately. He was clearly worried about something, but he was afraid to admit it to his girlfriend. Your darling is parked at the flower stand. The taxi driver's voice snapped the girl out of her thoughts. Wow! He's carrying a whole bouquet. He was amazed. The girl's heart sank with resentment and pain. So it's different after all. You're both going to get it from me now. The girl decided to herself and, pulling herself together, in a calm voice told the taxi driver to continue driving behind the car. Alexa. Lisa scrolled through hundreds of scenarios in her head, imagining how she would catch her lover cheating, how she would look into his eyes, catching him cheating. But none of the scenarios invented by the girl turned out to be correct. Alex's SUV is parked at the city cemetery. Anything, but Lisa couldn't imagine such a thing. Her boyfriend took flowers and went to someone's grave. It turns out that she knows so little about her boyfriend, with whom she planned to associate her whole future life. After handing several bills to the taxi driver, Lisa asked him to wait for her, to which he readily agreed. Apparently, he himself was interested in finding out how this story would end. Alex went to the grave of a girl slightly older than Lisa and laid flowers. After standing for a while, he said something and, turning around, walked to the exit, almost seeing Lisa. The girl cursed herself for what she was doing now, but there was no other way out. She needed to find out what the one she calls her beloved was hiding from her. The SUV disappeared around the bend again when Lisa and the taxi driver started chasing it. So he wasn't bringing flowers for his mistress? The taxi driver asked, looking at Lisa in the rearview mirror. It turns out that it is. She agreed, still lost in her own thoughts. She was even more surprised when her boyfriend's car pulled up to the orphanage and after a while a female teacher came out holding the hand of a girl of about 5. She rushed to Alex, and he picked her up in his arms, began to circle and kiss her, hugging her to him. Now the picture in Lisa's head did not add up at all. There was no mistress, but there was a little girl who for some reason lived in an orphanage. Who is she? And why didn't Alex ever talk about her? And this woman in the cemetery? All these questions haunted Lisa. And finally, when she met her boyfriend in the evening, she told him everything she knew and admitted that she had been following him. Alex listened to her with his head down. After her questions, he sat in silence for a while, thinking about what had happened, and then suddenly said, "You know, it's probably even better this way. I've been meaning to tell you everything for a long time." And he smiled sadly. That girl in the cemetery is Natasha. We met 6 years ago. I really liked her. Alex stared thoughtfully into the void, as if plunging into that very time. And then she disappeared somewhere. At these words, he turned his gaze to Lisa, which even made her feel uneasy. I searched for her, called her, but it was all useless. The phone was unavailable, and in the cafe where she worked, I was only told that her grandmother in some village became very ill, and she dropped everything and rushed there. I have not been able to find out what kind of village it was. And then I met you. Alex smiled. I met and fell in love like a boy. In fact, I never even suspected that it was possible to love like that. Tears rolled down the guy's cheeks at these words. It was obvious that he wasn't lying. And now he's being more honest with her than ever. And then how did I know that Natasha wasn't the only one who ran away from me to this mysterious village? Smiling, he seemed to address his question to Lisa. Not alone. But with whom? The girl was amazed. And with the same girl you saw near the orphanage. Alex explained, looking somewhere at the floor. Her name is Sasha, and she is my daughter. Can you imagine? At these words, Alex laughed softly, risking tears. And I only recently found out about it myself. And my daughter has been living in an orphanage all this time. And what happened to Natasha? Why did she die? Sitting down next to him, Lisa put her hand on his shoulder, trying to somehow support her boyfriend. I was told that she died during childbirth. He wiped his eyes again, probably to hold back the tears. And only recently Natashkina's friend told me everything. And I didn't even suspect anything. And then, turning to Lisa, he said, now you know everything, darling. He smiled bitterly at these words. I love you very much. More life. But I can't leave my daughter there either. If you are ready to accept both of us, then I will be happy. Lisa was stunned by this story. She could expect anything, but the fact that her beloved has a daughter, and even in an orphanage, even her feminine imagination could not foresee this. You're a fool. Pulling the guy's hair, she suddenly said. I thought you had a mistress, but he was afraid to tell me about the baby. Smiling and hugging her boyfriend, she said, how can I give up a child when I will soon become a mother myself? Alex understood everything and hugged his girlfriend tightly, hiding in her hair from all the troubles in the world. How happy I am. He whispered in Lisa's ear. You are my greatest blessing. He said and kissed the future mother of his children. Soon Alex and Lisa got married. Now they have become mom and dad for 2 children at once. First of all, they took Sasha from the orphanage, and soon they had a son, Vanya. It seems that happiness has settled in their big and noisy family. Lisa was able to accept and love Sasha as her own daughter, and she reciprocated her feelings. Still, how important is it to be able to hear and understand a loved one? After all, if Lisa hadn't been able to understand her boyfriend then they wouldn't have had all this now. Dear viewers, if you liked this video, then like and subscribe to our channel. Goodbye.